All right, hello. Welcome in to episode 163 of Shackled City. Boom bam, it is upon us. Hi guys. Why could I never seem to get Austin's camera right ever? Ever, period. I don't know why, I just can't fucking ever get it to work.
I think it's because his head just like constantly moves to different corners. He's like a screensaver on a DVD player.
It's that ADHD thing.
Never hits the corner.
I try to stay centered, but I just between the leaning on this arm, maybe over here, maybe bounce down back here, then
You change color each time too.
Oh man, ruining everything every time. How you guys doing, man?
Doing all right.
Good.
Fair to middling.
There are worse ways to be.
Yeah, pretty much.
Worst ways to be, but you're existing, and that's what matters. So, now that we're here, we've got a couple of things that we can talk about and get out of the way. Most importantly, let's start with your recaps.
All right, guys, it's been a while. Get your locks, get your chains, and get ready to get shackled in for this week's Shackled recap.
All right, how many of us? Is it like a unanimous vote thing to get him out of here, or what's the deal?
I mean, I don't think we're
gonna
like
do the
legally
recap?
allowed to. I mean,
You draw straws, something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if we get rid of him, then someone else is gonna have to do the recap. So,
This is true.
Hey, look here. I'll do my bid for the recap. So, we were down in Occipitous, and
No, you
we
weren't.
had just overcome the trial of the Elder Fish God. It was intense.
Smoking eye.
Exactly,
Yeah,
the Elder
okay.
Fish God.
Okay.
We're good, right? You can
Nope.
just take him out. I'll do the recaps from now on.
So,
You got it.
last week, week before, right? Because we didn't have a session last week.
We fought now.
correct. It's something tornado. Something.
Dealing with the aftermath of the vampire invasion, we ended up finding out we had to do a couple of checks to ensure after the battle how many people were actually going to be alive. When it came to Fire Brigade, that was left up to Dugobras, Rahk, Cort, and Jakob.
Yes.
And medic duty was left to Jenya, Ulhime, and Zenith. Hold on, I keep forgetting his fucking name. Saying it properly.
Zenith?
No.
No.
Severant Novelant. Sorry.
Severant Novelant.
Severant was our defensive coordinator for the hospital area. So as people started coming in into the guard area, we were treating them, making sure they were healed up. Fire Brigade situation didn't go too well, given the roles that we had. We saved roughly, I think it was 45% of the people that were left there, total.
There was a number that is accurate.
Of that 45%, we ended up curing and saving around 85% of the people that came to the medical area.
Correct.
Outside of that, Thelsa had finally made a return. We ended up seeing that she had had a gentle repose type of spell placed upon her.
She did.
To keep her from dying.
Correct.
Ulhime healed her to treat the large gashes and stuff in her wounds. She was still pretty beaten up. Dugobras suffered a pretty bad injury by having a beam and a large, pretty much mostly a house fall on him, causing damage to his right hand, which is his dominant hand. Thelsa was then there to treat and make sure that he was doing okay, though he hasn't really moved or spoken much since then. The building that burned down, however, we found out was one of the food stores. It was the largest grain storage that the city had and had been completely destroyed because of the fire that spread to it.
Correct.
So now rounding out that portion, we realized that we only probably have a couple of weeks of food left before we start having to figure out how we're gonna manage that. On top of that, we also found out that the Temple of Cord's high priest, Mr. Ronlert, left, and we now have 3 dead priests of Cord in the church.
Yes, they were arranged in a very particular way. What way was that?
They were arced around each other with daggers plunged into their chest, kind of sprawled out, representing like a dawning sunrise.
I was actually quite happy with how quickly you came across that. I thought you were going to see that and be like, what the hell does this mean?
No. No.
Curious, would the others, if, let's say, if Cort had stumbled in upon that scene, would Cort have realized what that was?
No, probably not.
If you had to venture to a guess, what would you say?
Don't actually know, to be completely honest.
Would you think it was some sort of like sacrificial killing? Would it be that maybe they decided that they were not long for this world, so they committed suicide, like a group suicide kind of thing?
I'm thinking, knowing Shackled City, maybe just murder.
Wow, that's I mean, you're not wrong, but in the name of knowing Shackled City, it's gotta be murder. It's gotta be.
I'm just gonna say
It
I
might
know
not
Jacob
even have
wasn't
been a
there.
ritual. It might have just been. I felt like killing these people in the most extravagant fucking way possible because I'm some random ass fucking villain. We get those kind of people.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. What would Jacob have thought? Would you have immediately come to the Dawnbringer?
No, likely not.
No.
I would have, if anything, I would have guessed opportunistic killings for one reason or another. That, or we missed a couple of vampire children. It's one of those things where you'd have to investigate a little further.
Yeah. And Rahk would have absolutely no idea since he's the newest to the town and has no
Not
idea
a
about
clue.
shit.
It's just a welcome party here.
What's going on with Rahk right now, man? You just wandered into the town, then all of a sudden, fucking vampires everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, like, fucking shit's fucked up. Just in general. But then again, I at least have something to do here. I'm not being shunned by everybody.
Yeah.
For once, they're actually happy to see a half-orc wielding a giant hammer.
Yeah.
Running through the town screaming.
Yeah, it's true. You're not exactly sparse of work at this point since most of the guard has been taken care of. And when I say taken care of, I mean literally destroyed.
There's literally
Speaking
5 of us
of,
left.
5 guards.
And they were deserters.
We have the Blue Duke dead.
Blue Duke died,
But luckily,
correct?
there's a new second in command in the guard.
There is, in fact. There is, in fact. Let's like line that out before the initial conscription. Why, and how?
Well, I mean, if we want to kind of go over what happened with Jacob through all this, after having spent quite some time trying to pull bodies out of the fires with Dougalbras, well, I mean, it was kind of twofold. First, kind of stumbled upon this one particular situation where this old man and his child were going ahead and, trying to save this woman.
Yes.
Who ostensibly would be the old man's daughter and the child's mother. And, of course, Jacob being Jacob, he tries to do the right thing.
And the wrong thing happens.
Well, he gets the old man out. He gets the kid out. He's trying to go ahead and rescue the woman, but come to find out, she is, like, super dead. And in trying to usher them out, of course they don't want to go ahead and leave. And he like hefts the old man up, and the kid tries to swing by, and he kind of like, boom,
You palm him
palm slaps
right in the
palm
chest.
slaps the kid right in the chest, and well, apparently he had osteoporosis or something, because I kind of crushed his sternum into his heart. But
Kind of.
that's not the worst part. The worst part is I tried to rescue him. Like, went ahead and brought out Klaus's old healer's kit, and bumblefucked my way through that. Ended up cutting right along the ribs and figured out what the problem was. But by the time everything was all settled and said and done, I killed another kid. So that ups my record to what, 4?
Is it 4? Let's line them out real quick. How let's talk about them.
We got Jimothy.
Griffith's son.
Jimothy, yep.
We've got the kid in the
Old man.
No,
he's just talking about children.
Yeah, we're just talking about children.
Do you count the dog? Dog was pretty young.
Dude, you shut the fuck up.
Dog was old as shit.
Oh, actually, like,
I'm just for inaccuracy here.
The man was old as shit. The dog was, he hadn't even reached middle age yet.
Look, he
live
got the
forever.
double kill. That's all that matters. Okay.
And at that
in the
point,
church.
you walk out and just kill a Manjaro. Fucking lands it.
Fucking
Sniper, how did you get free? Killing spree.
gotta be a CPA to fucking count all of his kills. It's ridiculous.
Oh, but for the moment, we're just counting children, not fur babies either. So we have Jimothy. Who's next, Sniper?
The young man in the cathedral, I'd go ahead and classify him as a kid. I think he was only like 16, 17.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, like 14 years old. Yes.
Even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And then we had the old man in Lapoot, but they don't count.
Correct.
I didn't do it.
We will detail the old man killing, like geriatric killings, after this. You go after the weakest first. We get it.
Yeah, and then this one, I think that's only 3 kids.
So 3.
far.
Yeah, it sounds like 3. I mean, the countless others between from the fiery inferno and ignoring the vampiric threat. But whatever hurts. This is just what we know.
Well, no, we're talking about ones that are directly attributed to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and technically, the vampire threat wasn't Jacob's fault, because he kind of came in the middle of all that. And
Sure. I suppose all of the others, then it just becomes a catastrophic statistic, right? It's just a catastrophic
that's
statistic.
Klaus's fault. He was aware of it the entire time.
Technically so.
And
is
he's not
everybody
here
else.
to defend himself, so we'll let it go at that.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
You son of a bitch.
You were still.
So, anyways, I
Yeah.
apologize to the old man, because I'm hearing roaring and so forth, and it's like, okay, I need to go ahead and continue to try and save who I can save.
Yeah.
And in turning away, I hear this strange noise, this tinkling on the cobblestones, and I look back, and the old man and boy are both gone, but there is a coin.
No, the boy remains. The old man is gone.
Oh, it's just the old man that disappeared. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. So, yeah, I see this coin, and I, pick it up like an idiot. And lo and behold, it's the mark of the last laugh. Ha ha! Fuck. And I end up with this indelible mark that I think traveled to my shoulder or something.
He managed to touch you, and it left this like almost burned imprint, like you had been scorched by something. And when looking at it later, you thought it was a thumbprint, but it had become something more. You're not really sure what it is. You just know that it's certainly magical.
Yeah, it's something I'll go ahead and investigate later, along with, the rest of what I'm doing about the city. But anyways, fast forward, find Dougal Bras. Turns out his arm was ripped off thanks to Rahk and, his big ass hammer.
Yep.
Went ahead and got both over to Ulhime because, well, you got to try and save whoever you can.
He lived a long, healthy 40 years before retiring.
Yeah, and of course, because of everything that has gone on, because Klaus has given his life for me, despite my requests otherwise, because I've somehow shortchanged, the death that I deserve, I come across Kiana Green, and I'm like, okay, this has got to stop. So I go ahead and confess. because confession is good for the soul, supposedly.
Yeah, you confessed because she didn't see it coming from a mile away.
I doubt she saw me coming alive, but she did mention that we'd talk about that later. But neither here nor there. But no, I go ahead and explain the situation. And it's like, just so you know, I've got another body on my hands. I mean, I'm already covered in this kid's blood and everything. But it's like, I'm sorry, it happened again. I don't know what happened, George. I don't know what happened.
Thank you, Lenny.
Just tell me about our rabbits, George. Just tell me about our rabbits.
I didn't realize the chromosome bandit was making an appearance.
He has returned.
But
what is happening?
He got geriatric in the time he's been gone.
Good Lord.
So anyways, in confessing this to Kiana confesses that she's had some time to think about it and calm down and, get rational. She'd had chocolate and, popped a couple Midol. And in the end, she decided...
Hashtag not sexist at all.
Mm-mm.
Not at all. Not at all. Yes, we're an inclusive group here at Shackled City.
I generally just tell people that you're not racist or sexist, that you literally hate on everyone equally.
Pretty much. So she turns around and says, but you will go ahead and make amends. You are going to redeem yourself. And you're going to do it by being my lieutenant. The guard is, greatly short on numbers. I am conscripting you. You are my second in command. And it's like, oh my god. And the first order that he went ahead and completed was to let the Rangers know what was going on. So,
yeah, you were supposed to go where exactly?
The Citadel, I think it's called. Big
Well,
tree in the forest.
You wanted to speak to the wardens, just
Yes,
because
the
she doesn't have rapport with them. She doesn't know anything about them, to be honest. It was generally handled by the guard captain. And now, since your previous guard captain is missing, well, she's acting the best that she possibly can.
I've met him. Yeah, I've met him and their pet snake the once, so I figured, hey, I totally got an in with these guys. And, I spent what little time I had remaining with a certain warlock's spell list. Teleporting to and fro to let people know that Cauldron had been attacked and the worst had come and we needed all the assistance they could manage before coming back and basically passing the fuck out.
Okay.
I am so not looking forward to looking at chat right now, considering that I've got Discord over it, and I'm just seeing everything
just
lining
don't
up
hit
as
that
I've been talking.
It's not terrible. It's not like it's completely throwing you under the bus. But that's okay.
I mean, it's not all my fault.
So yeah, you've been conscripted. You are effectively working as the second in command of the guard.
Promotion!
For many reasons, and I think a lot of people didn't exactly see that coming. But what options did she really have? Kill you on the spot, make it even messier?
Well,
she
given the
could've.
situations, she just had to lower her standards by a lot.
She had the option to murder him.
Yeah, so now we've got a mostly Glbrizu tiefling, playing second in command in the town guard. Thankfully with a mass so that everyone isn't trying to go ahead and kill him for being, a mostly Glbrizu tiefling now.
Yeah. This is something that I sort of wanted to experiment a little bit with, because I, up to this point, had only seen tieflings play just that, tieflings with no correspondence to their heritage. And this was what I wanted to see as a bit more of a breakaway. Some direct lineal ties and having it begin to manifest. What exactly caused this manifestation? Do you have any idea?
I would imagine that it's the influence of Nabthatorin's magics, since Nabthatorin is the one that returned him from being a butterfly and apparently made him, basically, all side.
Akin to that. Yeah, that's not a terrible guess. Any other ideas from anybody else?
I'd say Daddy Nabby. That's my first guess.
Really?
I mean, it's a simple answer, to be honest. Like, it's not like it's a terrible answer by any means.
Yeah.
I think it's Occam's Razor in this situation.
Okay, all right. All right, well then, what's next? What else happened? Anything else that pertained to any other characters?
No, I don't think so. I think we all pretty much just
And then we
reconnoitered
decided to
and
do the
passed
2-week
out.
skip. The 2-week boogaloo.
Let's go with that. So,
Also, did we level up from the Vampire Battle of Doom?
nope.
Damn it.
Question. And I know that I posed this question at the end of last session. I'll go ahead and can the music here so I can make sure that I have everybody's attention. Last week, or the last time that we played, I posed a question asking each of you what you would like to do in the small time leap. I asked of you what you wanted to do for the town, and some of you got back with me several times. Some of you never got back with me at all, which I'm not at all surprised, since some of you are so aloof to everything outside of this particular game. So, I wanted to outline those now. Ronald, how about you? Let's start with you.
For me, it was gonna be patrolling.
Okay.
And then using the gold to check to see if we're able to get the gold to start essentially generating income for the city as well as ourselves by hiring contractors outside of the city.
Okay, so patrolling, income, distribution, and hiring contract workers. Where are you, I guess, supposing the idea that you're going to be hiring these contract workers from?
Outside, so like Red Gorge. I forgot the name of the other city near us.
Sasserine.
Sasserine.
Yes.
So essentially, what it would be, I would be writing with me and a few other people, if possible, would be writing out these notices, essentially stating you would be given 100 or 250 gold, like I said, based off of what we're getting for the investment that we had for the statues and stuff.
Sure.
To come into Cauldron. I wanted to do like a 3-year contract where they'd be working with us. They would have, we'd be working on the guild hall, of course. That's essentially where the main base for them to work at would be. So it's a centralized hub. Since we're located near the market district area, it's a good spot for trade. On top of that, we would get like a 5% cut of whatever they would make would go to our guild as a whole, which would be the 4 of us. And from there, it's helping the cause, but it's also essentially giving them a Kickstarter to come into the city. So that's what I was trying to do.
Okay, so I'm just going to kick us into some light Heatherton music here, and I want you guys to discuss this. This is something that obviously, when you were beginning to determine the effects of income and income disbursement into vocation, clearly some of you are going to want your own money, at least to a degree. Obviously, Rahk has no pull in this, at least immediately, but as someone that is respected for the assistance that they've provided to the town, you may have some value here. Particularly, I understand that there is at least one player that wanted to proposition you to work alongside them. Thelsa would have approached you in that time, very early on, Rahk, and asked if there was a way. Let me make sure that I have this up and available because I don't want to misrepresent any's intentions. Oh boy, okay. Of course, he couldn't use Rahk. He says... I want to see if there is any way that he might be interested in assisting the goals at the bathhouse and those of us that align ourselves with the bathhouse.
Yeah, I think Brock would be agreeable to that at this point. Sort of trial by fire has discovered that these people are at least somewhat good company. You know, maybe not the finest folk around, but good enough to spend his time with. But in addition to that, he's not really... I'm going to say that he's not really fully devoted to the group at this point.
Sure.
He still has sort of a sense of duty to the city more so than the party members.
Okay. Before we get too far into it then, what are your goals in that 2 weeks' time?
Likely trying to establish myself in the city as a helping hand, sort of aiding in the rebuilding efforts wherever I can, and doing whatever needs to be done.
So essentially you want to establish rapport by filling in wherever you're needed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cort, what are your intentions in that 2-week period?
Cort plans to mostly deal with anyone who's going to start causing trouble for the city, since there might be a food shortage and there is quite a lot of chaos. If there's anyone who seeks to steal or rob or anything like that with the low guard force, he's basically going to be trying to put that down, since he's someone who can do that non-lethally, because that's what most of what he does.
How far are you willing to go with this? Are you willing to ascertain a title of like vigilantism, or are you?
No, not vigilantism. But basically doing patrol.
So you're willing to operate on patrols
because he technically was Jared's squire before, so he's basically working with the guard. Not a lot of vigilantism. But since there's not a lot of guard around, he's capable to walk around and handle common folk trying to steal things.
Sure.
And he's not going to be short-tempered enough to cut off their heads. He's just going to put them in the dirt and take away whatever they're stealing. And at the same time, while he's doing that, he wants to look for leads as to where he can find Jared.
Okay.
Because no one knows where Jared is. So, but the main thing is protecting the town at the moment. That's more of a secondary thing.
So leads on Jared's abduction, but patrols primarily. Rahk wishes to establish rapport. Any like minor goals in there, Rahk, at all?
Not necessarily. I mean, it's
writing
mostly
some sick ass poems.
Yeah, I mean, in my off time, pretty much always be writing, but
okay.
Aside from that, nothing in particular.
All right. Jakob, in this downtime, what are you hoping to accomplish for the town and then for yourself?
Well, given the fact that I am now an unfortunate lieutenant, I would imagine that the majority of my time is going to be spent directing guard rotations, trying to hire more people into the guard, training, that kind of thing. I mean, we're trying to build from 5 people back to any kind of significant force. And
right.
while the Bumblefucks might be conscripted to aid the city, they're still their own individuals. So the majority of my time is going to be spent taking care of that. If the wardens do end up showing up, kind of utilizing their numbers to establish a watch guard along the city walls, that kind of thing. As far as what personal things Jakob would try and do, really understanding his situation, he'd basically be trying to go ahead and wheel and deal to try and find his gear or some kind of kit together again, because
sure, you'd like to assemble something in the way of equipment.
I'm kind of naked.
Gotcha. Okay. So you essentially you're just wielding whatever you happen to have found, like mundane equipment then, for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, really, at this point, the only equipment that I have is what Klaus had left behind, which really wasn't that much.
Okay, that's fair. All right.
He was wearing all this good shit when he died, the bastard.
Let's start with this. I want to see everybody kind of enacting here. I don't really know how Ulhime is going to handle it, but Thelsa is going to be gone primarily in this time, even after conscripting the aid and asking for the assistance of Rahk. But Rahk, you will probably not be as needed by her immediately. However, you will see that they have some goals themselves in the line or the direction of assisting the city. Ulhime, you understand that you have to pose this ideal to your party since they assisted in the gathering of this equipment. So I'd like for you to open this up. You've gathered all of your allies to the table, everyone that has at least assisted in this. For the time being, Rahk is temporarily exhibiting the deeds and the goals of each of you to determine if you're aligned, if you have the same ideals. So open it up. It's open forum. Floor is yours. Take the scene.
Sorry to call all of you here while we are supposed to be working, but there is something I did want to discuss with the funds that we would be coming into pretty soon regarding the statues from Occipitous as well as all the other treasures that we had located. Just to be, I guess to bring it into light, I want to establish an economic flow for our guild. All of us would be the founding members of the guild. And then he kind of nods to Rahk, you included. You fought for us. You've earned your keep more than twice over.
I appreciate that.
That being said, I want to use the majority of the gold that we have to bring people from outside of the city in, hiring under a contract, offering a startup of roughly 100 to 250 gold based off what we're looking for. It would give us a foothold to have materials being imported back into the city. On top of that, we would have some semblance of control as to what we had access to. A lot of us here need regions for some of our higher end spells, and on top of that, it would be an easier way for us to get better discounts on adventuring supplies. We wouldn't have to keep going into the towns to ask other people.
I know I'm new around here, but do you believe you'll find buyers for these goods that you've procured, especially after such a disaster like this?
I've had the buyers received from out of the town. They're most likely not anyone from Cauldron. If they are, it wouldn't really make much difference. Either way, it's just an idea that I'm presenting to you. As I said, I don't know what we have yet, but that is the plan that I want to go with. But before any of that, I do think we do need to get some basic adventuring supplies again. Backpacks, ropes, torches, the works, as though if we were setting out for the first time, even though we might be spending most of our time here.
I certainly understand that.
I'm not really opposed to the idea, but if we get new people, do we get to teach them how to fight?
No, most likely the new people coming in will most likely be merchants, traders of whatever craft that they have. As such, if they want to learn how to be a caster or a warrior of some sort, that would be something on their own time. It's not something I'm using to try to recruit people into a militia. This is just an organization that I want to make for a guild to have a good foundation on.
Well, I don't really know how to help too much for that, but I won't say no.
Jakob?
Well, with Kiana keeping me on a short leash, it's not really like I can do much with my own gold. I do have some funds set aside, but I had been rather hoping to replace what was lost with it. That having been said, I don't mind kicking into the pot, so to speak. After all, the quicker that we can get these craftsmen on site and start repairing this bathhouse into the guild hall that you see, the better it'll be for at least this area of the city. A little bit of security goes a long way.
Agreed. I have some have some plans that I've been drawing up here and there as we've spent our days going about it. I already have a basic design, and he kind of unfolds the thing I showed you guys from the other Roll20 room. It's written in Dwarven writing, just because when it comes to architecture, it's the easiest way for him to kind of read off what he's trying to look at. So if you guys don't understand like Dwarven, then you probably won't understand the notes that he's written down.
Cort wouldn't point that out.
He kind of starts like pointing out like essentially where everything's gonna go. That big ass fucking hole that protrudes down into that secondary area. He starts pointing off where like he's gonna seal off the wall. Those extra rooms that are there will be for the craftsmen to use, as well as like extra storage depending on how many people we get. The clockwork area, he's showing that he's going to have it walled off to an extent, but when we get more people, we can have guards stationed there, so not just everyone is heading to and from that area, because obviously we haven't even went down there yet, so we don't know what's lurking beneath. But yeah, he starts going over all of that, and yeah, he kind of just, once he kind of shows you guys a layout, he looks back up. As I said, this is what I've had so far. It's a 5% cut from each merchant. It's not a lot to give us immediate profit, but I believe it would be a show of good faith that we're not here to just take from them, that we are generally interested in their craft, and getting ourselves a better name it would be good for us. And it's an easier way to have better control on the prices, so if anything does happen with these taxes that might be going through, we can at least put a better portion forward rather than the people themselves.
We'll be able to help people get food?
Hopefully. This is, like I said, it's a small plan that I have, but it's what I'm thinking I could try to do to help the city. It's an idea that I've had from back home, very similar to how Protector's Hall used to kind of manage itself.
If you don't mind me asking, what exactly is the end goal here?
It's a stable source of income for us. So let's say in the event, and he kind of points to your weapon, something like that breaks, instead of you having to replace for a new one, you come here, we have a weapon master who can make you something like that. Instead of paying the full price for it, because he's contracted under us, we get a discount. Or if we ourselves have the materials, it's just part of him making it, and then whatever show of good faith you can put towards that, you give him a tip.
It sounds, and I don't mean to put this rudely, it sounds an awful lot like we're building a sort of catalog for ourselves and not necessarily benefiting the city in any way. Do you have anything, plans, I mean, aside from contributing taxes, which everyone must pay regardless of where they come from, do you have any plans to benefit the citizens directly?
Well, that would be it. Considering what I have right now, whatever money we start making profit on, we can start here. And he kind of points to the map where the bathhouse is. Starting here, we can slowly start donating, or even putting some forth of our own material to working on other parts of the city. But, I mean, this goal itself is short-sighted. It's as far as I've gotten, but this is what I have right now. I think it will work, but it's not something that's going to be done in a day.
Also keep in mind, Rahk, that by bringing in experienced and talented craftsmen, this is going to make the rebuilding of the city easier. A blacksmith alone is worth 10, even 100 laborers.
That is given they're willing to do the work, and possibly for less pay than they normally would. It's not exactly a resource-rich city anymore.
True, but as I said, if we can get more people back in, we can start fixing the economy, or at least the outside the image of Cauldron, little by little. I mean, I can make armor, but it's not something I'm charging people for at this point.
It's a start.
If you're not okay with it, your input means a lot.
My concern is that it seems we're putting the cart before the horse, so to speak. We can encourage these people to come here, but until there's a guaranteed need for them outside of our own personal desires and requirements, I don't see them getting a whole lot of work outside of our group.
Well, most of the people that we would be calling in first would be most likely farmers, seeing as our crops aren't doing too well. From there, it would be other laborers, architects mostly. Slowly, we would start working out towards blacksmiths and bowyers, fletchers, things like that. But I would say that would probably be the base of what we start off on.
And nothing says that we aren't going to hire citizens of the city first. After all, why go ahead and put out for laborers, craftsmen, tradesmen, when they may be available here and in more dire need of the coin than most?
I don't disagree with that.
So I ask here now.
Yep.
With this on the table, since it seems like there is a popular consensus, either you're completely indifferent because it doesn't affect you one way or another, or you think it may align within the best interest of the city, how are you going to get this information out to these laborers, to these people with specified vocations?
One way would be, like I said, I would start writing out the details of what this is going to entail. I know I'm just one person, but I would probably spend a day or two on just repeating that same note over and over, unless we have like a press somewhere. I don't know if that's a thing yet.
Okay, so word's going to get out about Cauldron. They're going to find out that the city was just under attack by a major undead threat. Correct. That left it in significant disrepair. We're going to
be hanging out a now hiring sign.
Yeah. It's going to send up some red flags for some. Others that are desperate may look for the opportunity, especially at claiming some form of gold. But there's going to be a significant amount of questions that have been posed to you, especially in regards of, 1, protection, 2, insurance or assurance that there are no more threats regarding the undead, or what happens to leak or lurk beneath your domicile. When was the last time you guys have actually gone down into this dwarven hold and really kind of investigated what it's
been a while.
like?
When we found out that there was, when they found out there was vampire children kind of in hordes. But hey, we could go ahead and hire our own intermediary, Donald Drump.
We can hire our own cave dweller to go down there and deal with the vampires.
I know, like I said, it's not it's I know it sounds like a dumb idea, but like this is what I got for at least a long-term fix. Sure.
No,
Yeah, basically you just want to go ahead and create a guild hall, which is perfectly reasonable. The timing could be a little better, but... A lot better. And I think that's not a terrible idea by any means. I do just think that it may be inopportune because, well, things are hot right now. It's a bit of a hot button. Cauldron is, for lack of a better term, on fire. And to be fair, I mean, it's not like this is the first time Ulhime's started making allusions to that. He's been wanting to build a... Yeah, he's been alluding to this for a long while now. For a long time. But that having been said, I would say that he might have some good reasoning here. I mean, Cauldron is going to require all these craftsmen to come here anyway. Yeah, because we're just offering them a longer-term solution for staying within the city past,
I mean, like, because I see it like this. It's like we can go collect the gold. Sure, I have, and I'm like here, like, and I just throw a bag out, and I'm like, that's what I have to offer. And sure, like, there can be another person that goes out, uses the gold to make whatever investments they want. But at the same time, like, if it's our goal, if our group's gold, I want our group to have a control as to where it goes. You know what I mean?
Sure, that makes sense. Okay, so I think a better
that's
question.
why like when you first brought it up, like that's all I was saying. Like, yeah, I want to talk it over with the guys because I don't want to just toss it out into the world and be like, whoever uses it and gets it, it's for you.
Is there just a
be
lifetime
honest.
stipend on how long these people have to pay you back for this money that you've given to them?
No, so that's the thing. So essentially how the contract would be they have like a 2 to 3 year service with us. But that gold that they're getting, once we've like okayed them, like they just keep, like that's their Kickstarter to like thank you for joining kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yo,
it's a credit that they're getting, but they're not.
You're like building a lenders union / mob. You're offering them protection for their money. Like you're like, come in. Many people died in our city, and there are vast openings.
You won't die if you're
potential for growth, and for 5% a month, we'll protect you.
Yeah, without the I'm gonna break your legs and.
So what happens if they don't pay you the 5%? What do you do?
I mean, obviously, then they won't be part of our, like they won't be part of our guild. And like I said, it's gonna be. There's a legal form to it, which is why I'm saying like I don't have like me as a player, I don't have everything like that worked out.
Okay,
but
you should start
like,
working on that. You should begin like drumming up some kind of like written contract, because inevitably you will find those that wish to abuse the system or the situation to their benefit in gain. If we're trying to bring some sort of real world element to it, like not everybody is as cut and dry as as
and
being
I get
just good
that.
Guys.
Yeah, and like I said, that's why I was kind of trying to go over with it because like in terms of things like that, I personally don't know how to go over all that.
The premise of it is I wanted to give you an idea, because going over it on the weekend would have been okay, but those that are watching right now may not have seen this exchange, and this might be valuable to someone watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, and besides, basically what we're trying to do is hire in craftsmen who will be able to utilize. Because, I mean, let's be honest, there's nobody in Cauldron that we can go to for magical arms and armaments.
How do you know? You guys have literally not explored 60% of the city.
Because we've inquired about that before, and you've already stated that we only had kind of your standard blacksmiths and artificers.
There are a few, yes, but there are some specialists within the city that are not willing to operate with you because you guys have a negative fucking reputation. You're literally a group of people that are known for killing children. Do you think they're gonna be like, ha ha ha, his money's good as any?
Whoa. Jacob only came into this group recently. This is back like during Fareed's day that we're talking about.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, that's, like I said, that's also another reason why I'm doing this. It's to show that we are more responsible. We can have an organized group to get things done. So there's like I said, there's multiple reasons why I have this idea for those reasons, but this is essentially where it's starting.
Sure. Do you have any idea about the buildings and the type of people that were lost, or how many people were actually lost in this sort of expunging of threats?
Like the lives lost
3
total?
At least 3. Just in general, lives lost, the initial change from everything that's happened since then, especially since the beginning of the campaign. You guys have veritably shaped the future. You've been largely a part of the past, but because of your actions, you have shaped the present and the future. So maybe it's worthwhile considering who or what may still exist in your city. You may know exactly which vocations to tackle. Do you hire blacksmiths? Do you hire general store owners? Carpenters? Whom do you reach out to? What was lost in all of this?
Large portion of everything.
A significant amount, yeah, but there are some more prominent buildings that were utilized by the citizens of Cauldron. Whom might you go to determine this?
For like the actual, honestly, it would probably be the mayor.
Okay.
I think he would have the information to know who. He would know the districts better than like we would, so it would probably go us going to him asking, "Hey, who exactly who did we lose in that regard, or who can we talk to? I guess who holds those records."
Okay.
I mean, that's my idea. I don't know if that's.
I would also point out that we know some rather influential in-city merchants. The one who you actually sold most of these items to, and who we do happen to have a good rapport with. And
Sasha
who we haven't...
and Miles?
No. Who'd you sell the statue to?
He doesn't know.
Well, no.
Mabu's wife. That's I get what you're talking about.
Yes. She is most likely going to have the information that we're looking for within the city itself, and we've already got a rapport with her, and we haven't tried killing her for being a beholder yet.
Well, I mean, that's true. Good thing she's not.
It does help.
Yeah, I'm just saying that before going to the mayor and starting that nonsense.
I get you. Yeah.
You technically do have a relationship with both the mayor and Mavu's wife at this point. You don't necessarily know if either of them are positive, however. One is just business, and the other, you have common goals.
The other's a beholder.
That's like a really weak answer, though, right?
Yeah.
Because he's been a beholder since the beginning of this campaign. And he may have done some really shifty or shady things, but you don't really know to what course.
As characters, players, yeah. Oh, I guess even as players, we wouldn't really fully know either.
Correct. The only thing that you're aware of is that out of game, he took a kid.
Yeah.
For what reason?
Good.
You don't know. You don't even know if the kid's still alive or not. Very well could have, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's what I got. And at some point, I would probably collapse the cave that leads to Drekthar's Way.
Leading specifically to like inside of your domicile,
the one at the very back? No, because the one that's
at the
leading
base of the volcano,
the bathhouse. Yeah.
All right.
The one that's leading to from the bathhouse. I'm gonna convert that into like a stairwell.
Are you sure you want to do that? Since you're actually gearing up to start your own like cauldron mob, you need like your own delivery system for goods outside of the city, and this could be the way to do it.
I mean, yeah, I guess at a certain point, if I could hire enough people,
outside,
could be good for smuggling.
Clean it out. Okay, I'm not trying to smuggle.
I'm like all jokes aside, right? Like the whole.
I get what you're saying though. Like
it is a good way of smuggling, yes, but it's
bypass the tax and tariffs.
Oh my god.
This is the fucking
Bobby's slowly trying
the
to
mafioso Robin Hood over here. He's like, listen, okay, you fucking take from the rich, give to the poor, but then you gotta give to me too, okay? You catch an arrow, just jab. It is what it is.
Look at me here. They call me Ulhime Two Hands. See, I got the given hand,
and
I got the hand that taketh.
Well, not only that. Given that you have ties up north to various dwarf tribes, keeping underground areas like that open for possible dwarven mining would probably not be a bad idea, especially in
expansion.
Especially in the area of a caldera where lots of heavy metals would probably be found.
Oh yeah, true.
It's particularly where you can find the raw
obsidian,
the raw ore of like Slayer and Pantera. It's the best kind of metals to find for the construction of armors and what have you.
Ooh.
You smirked and nodded. You were on board. You wanted to make a point, you cheeky dick.
But I mean, even things
just
like
a lot better than those death metals like plutonium and uranium.
True enough.
But yeah, I guess we would keep it open. But at that point, like I said, it would be a thing of getting certain laborers that were within our guild.
Sure, that makes sense.
To fix that up, to build a proper pathway into the bathhouse, building a doorway or some sort of makeshift sliding wall to get stuff to and from that area. But yeah, for sure though, the Clockwork Citadel would be closed off. Like I would have something like I would do essentially just a straight wall of stone at some point and just block it off, like triple layer that shit, and then we'll break it down later on.
Okay.
But outside of that, that is my plan. Like, we'll make the guild hall. I'll find out how exactly the contracts and stuff are going to be made. We're reaching out to laborers and traders first. After that, we'll worry about blacksmiths and all that other stuff for weapons and.
So we're going to be bouncing around. We're going to be bouncing around a little bit since we already know that we're going to have Jakob leaving the city. Will anybody be going with him? I'm curious. It's not exactly like you can take a force with you.
No, but I will help him with something before we go. I do want to get some. I want to get 3 onyx gems if possible.
Okay.
So it'd be roughly 75 G's worth.
All right.
Well, before we go ahead and go much further, I just want to go ahead and verify we're doing the pooling of the gold, right?
Yes. Once you find out exactly how much you've made, you will be pooling the gold and deciding from henceforth where to parse it. But it seems like everybody is pretty much under the agreement that it will be going to the betterment of the guild/city.
Yeah.
Correct.
Unless, of course, you're trying to draw some for yourself. If you are, say that now.
Yeah. That's what we're saying. The first, whatever we're getting is our adventuring kits back, so that's going to be for everybody, and then regents and items for everyone. Whatever they need, whatever's left over, that's what we're using.
Right.
So
I just wanted to go ahead and ascertain that and figure out, did we want to do that bookkeeping now, or do we want to do that like?
If we can, I would rather do it now because I want to know exactly what we can get with what we have.
Okay. Well, let me go ahead and. Just, I'm assuming you're going to add it to your sheet since you're the one ostensibly going to be holding on to things.
If you guys are cool with it, I don't want to just, like I said, I don't want to just take from you guys.
Okay, well, did we ever get an answer on Thelsa, whether or not she wanted to keep any of the money?
From here, I think he said he was cool with most of the stuff that we come up with.
I can't remember.
I suppose next time he's going to get a job that lets him show up for game. Oh.
Man, I don't know.
Thelsa would be looking for yada.
He did not
She's
disagree.
gonna be, so she's gonna be sparse. Might be murdered. Okay, and then yeah, he's nothing really. I don't think he. No,
Yeah,
he doesn't really have anything outside of that.
All right. Well, I'm zeroing out
nothing
my
financial wise.
Okay, all right, then assume at this point what it is. It sounds like, Jakob, you're going to be doing some shopping, and we will handle the exchange between Ulhime and Mavu's wife. Do you recall a name?
Lady Annabelle. No. It is. I just have Arkental, Mrs. Arkental. I don't think I got her first name.
That would be a no, bub.
Okay. All right, I guess you'll be referring to her as Mavu's wife.
That'll be a no from me, dog.
Hello, Mavu's wife. How are you, Mavu's wife?
No, like I said, all I have is Miss Arkental. I don't have the.
That'll work then.
I don't think I got her first name. Yeah.
It's I think it's Arlental. I think it's not Kent. It's an L after the R.
Arlental?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I will do a quick index just to see if I'm completely wrong, but I don't think so. It is. It's Arlen. It's Arlintal. Mavu Arlental.
Spell that one more time for the.
Arlintal.
Cool. Thank you.
Not a problem. Okay. So, we will have at thee. Once this is done, we will allow Jakob to head to the Wardens. Then, assumingly, Cort is just going to be acting within the confines of patrols. If you wish to see about Jared's abduction, I'm going to allow you to pursue that on your time. You'll have to pop in at any time as long as there's an opportunity and say, like, hey, this is my chance, I want to investigate. Rahk, it sounds like you'll be doing much of the same yourself, with an exception that you have no immediate needs to search for anyone. But it sounds like everyone is going to be going in different directions. This will sort of give you free roam of this location. Will you take this time to investigate the hold at all? Rahk?
Are you talking to...
The hold is in...
The bathhouse and below.
Curiosity is probably going to get the better of me at some point or another, and I will likely venture down at least a little ways in to see
Don't
kind
go
of what
elbow
we're
deep
dealing
in
with.
Someone's hidey soul. It's the only rule.
All right.
But I don't feel like I would be fully exploring it by any means.
I'm just wondering if we're ever going to finish, investigating the Clockwork Citadel that we left behind.
You guys are going to have a hard time figuring out how to cross it. You blew the floor out of
Shattered
the bottom of it. Yeah.
We must go deeper.
That's right. You must go deeper. Again, at this point, the Citadel, the Clockwork Citadel was, in and of itself, a dwarven stronghold, and it exhibited some of the effects of what you may align to like Dweomer. It's some pseudo technology of sorts. But I'm curious, Rahk, how long will you allow yourself down?
A couple hours at the most. At a time. Likely several times during the 2-week period. Just kind of looking around, seeing what I can find. Hopefully not running into anything that wants to kill me.
He's just going to do some recreational spelunking.
Well, I mean, if he's going to find allies, he should really determine, it's like, I'm not going to wait, right? I'm not going to wait to see what kind of skeletons lurk in their closet. I'm just going to open the closet door and see myself. Which, since everybody's going to do their thing, and he's already said that he's going to take some time to do this, let's find out how Rahk feels about finding a plate of faces. This should make for an interesting event.
Faces and teeth.
And teeth, yes. A mound of bodies? Was it bodies or heads? Or was it both?
It was heads. Just the heads.
It's just the heads.
Yes, but we had buried those already.
Yeah, you did bury them down below, but there wasn't really an incredible amount of topsoil. So you literally had to mine it out. You had to mine out an area to bury them. So it should be wild. We'll give it an opportunity. So we're going to start with Ulhime. Ulhime, you're seeing your way to Mavu's. Mavu is a prominent trader. He is a textile exporter. Mavu has not been in town. Do you know where he is?
Red Gorge.
He's been staying in Red Gorge. What do we know about Red Gorge?
The area that was founded by the Chisel.
Yes.
Also has the largest basalt mines in the area.
It does have the largest basalt mines in the area. That is true. What else is
the final resting place of Surabar Spellmason before we fucked that up?
That's right. What else was known about Red Gorge? This is sort of relating to some of your own personal goals. It's a big one. Otherwise, I wouldn't be asking.
Alec Tercival died there. Alec Tercival died there.
Think about the population. Think about the population of Red Gorge.
Most of them left to there. Most of the population from Cauldron migrated to Red Gorge.
The 30% of the population that fled from the city did go to Red Gorge and Sassarine alike, so you're going to have some intermittence between. But what was important to remember about Red Gorge is that every family in Red Gorge were skilled experts in their vocation. The chisel was defined on skilled labor and not just break your back kind of labor, that sort of thing.
Correct.
All right, friend. You found your way to Mavu's Exports, where you meet with Ms. Arlental. Or at least you believe so. The scene is yours. You enter the establishment. It's not exactly like it's booming economy at this point. It's just one woman. Just one woman that seems to be sitting behind the desk. And Ms. Arlental seems to be handling some paperwork at the front desk off to the side.
He'll knock softly.
The woman will greet you. Yes, come in. How may I help you?
Hi, I was wondering how our items went, the selling of them. I know this is an unusual time to ask, but it's what I'm here for today.
Mavu's wife will turn immediately. Eyes kind of furrowed, because it is, as you have said, it is a bit of a terse time to be asking about the success rate in sales at the moment. She turns, expecting to accost whomever it may be at such a sensitive time. But when she sees that it's you, that furrow falls, and she walks to the desk. Hello.
He bows.
Is it not strange times that we live in? What would prompt an attack of this caliber on Cauldron? It seems fairly unwarranted.
As far as I know, it was the delaying actions of those before myself and those before the ones that are currently in the bathhouse. I think the group, they refer to themselves as the Flurry, if I remember correctly. That's what Klaus called them.
It seems that the rumors are true, then. What do you know of them?
Well, when I was on guard duty, they had bodies flooding into the streets. They had a giant mechanized beast attack that same area.
And
a couple of thieves among them.
You now stay with them?
They aren't around anymore.
So then you occupy their home?
In a manner, yes.
I see that you've changed as well, Mr. Ulhime.
He kind of lifts up his skeletal hand. Another acquisition of, I wouldn't call it power, but it's something that is needed for a long-term goal. A sense of understanding of what I'm to become or what I want to be.
Give me a perception. Give me a sense motive. You peer around you briefly, if for not anything else, just to kind of gauge your surroundings. And the woman opposite Ms. Arlental is keeping her distance. She's staying very, very clear about her situation and remaining as far as she can away from you. You note that even her arm is leaning against the shoulder of the bar itself. It's leaning against the wall as well. That's when Ms. Arlental will clear her voice. Excuse me. Come with me to the back office. We should discuss some things.
Agreed. And he begins to walk forward.
Once you're inside, she will shut the door. She'll offer you a seat, and then she will immediately abscond to her own chair.
He'll stay standing.
As she sits down, she sort of leans back in the chair, what you might expect out of a bigger businessman, and she crosses her hands. Well, we have good news and we have bad news. The good news is that we found a prospective buyer. There is someone that has deigned an interest in your piece. Though, I'm going to need you to give me a... Give me number 1 to 10.
8.
Close. Give me a 25% range.
1 to 25.
Okay. Though unfortunately, they seem to be offering less than what it is you're asking. Their offer is 18,000.
Kind of nods. Well, that's business, and you said it yourself before. The artifact itself was damaged, though magically repaired. It's within reason. I will not argue it.
We will be covering any tertiary costs that are associated with the movement of the product itself. So long as you agree that this is an acceptable rate, we will send note immediately.
He gives a nod. Please do.
That was unfortunately the good news, Mr. Ulhime. The bad news is that I have decided to investigate the history of your existence in this city. And I'm afraid that I will be retiring the services of our Lentil exports moving forward. While I do not think wholly that you are a bad individual, or that you are the wrong person for moving product, I think the people that you may associate with in the past, or currently the present, may be detrimental to the success of mine and my husband's business.
Which people?
Give me diplomacy.
26.
That's pretty good. You. As fast as I was able to discover about the flurry from amidst my own friends inside of the noble circle, we had found that there was a new tax being levied. And while it may not necessarily apply, it is believed that it is to have been in relation to yourself.
Yes, I had asked the mayor for assistance with the hopes that the nobles would be able to help with funding the orc army, but there is no army anymore, and it seems that he still wishes to implement the tax upon the people, or what people are left.
I understand that you have the most positive intentions inside of the city at the moment, as I have hired appropriate people to watch you. And they do not believe that your intentions are to bring ill about this town, though there have been ramblings, words that have been shared, of which I will not repeat, that discuss your discourse with particular people that hold the best interest of the town. And despite your relations with the mayor, and my lack of knowledge of the mayor, my husband respects him. If we are painted in an alliance of sorts, it will bring a certain reputation to the business.
I wouldn't make you draw a line between two people, and you're a businesswoman. Cutting off clients is part of your job. I'm a bad investment. I can understand that.
I don't necessarily believe that there are immediate ways for us to end our relations, but for the public and the face of the experience, I don't think that this can continue. You must find... If you have rarer textiles, artifacts, you may be able to move them still, but you must find a third party that has zero association to you.
Gives her a nod.
I'll be happy to finish this deal, and I will deliver all that is required. Again, we will be taking a small portion, as per agreed upon. But soon. I expect in a week's time, at least we'll be moving. The raven that we have sent at this point will find its way in probably 2 days. And given that we see nothing back the next day, it is as expected to be shipped in that location. It will be met by transport, and we will collect their funds, of which I will personally drop those off myself. You have my apologies, but again, this is nothing personal. It is merely business.
Gives her a nod.
I don't claim to understand what it is that you will be doing with this immediate amount of money, but if I may, a recommendation. To clear some of the negative reputation that lurks and hangs above you and yours at the bathhouse, establish a donation. There are many places that were lost and many people that had died, and some of those that didn't really get nearly enough to begin with. For instance, we managed to lose the orphanage entirely. It was burned. All of the children were killed, including Miss Gretchen. While it may have zero pertinence to you at the moment, they are still in fact our future, and there are more orphans today than there were the day before, and the day before that. I expect you to understand in this situation.
Of course.
If you'd like, we can contract laborers to assist in the disbursement of your donation. They will help rebuild the orphanage, and we may hire a new headmistress and those to assist with her. At the moment, I don't have any of the tallies on how many orphans there actually are, but I would believe that it is fairly substantial.
Then why don't we do this? 10% of what we're getting. That can be the start for it.
Very well. I think that should be enough. Yes, I think that should be enough. I'll run the numbers, and I will be in touch with you. I'll make a note to the mayor, because some of these things must be cleared immediately. He sees everything in this city. Finances are bound to him. For what it's worth, if you wish to make an established donation elsewhere, you may want to see him because, well, he knows more than just about anyone else. He's been the longest-standing positive force in this town since probably Cerebar Spellmason.
I'll do that then.
Then I bid you adieu, and I wish you luck.
Thank you again, and sorry for the trouble. As he's about to go, to shake her hand, he kind of stops, realizing that his right hand is the worm that walks hand, and he kind of pulls away, and it just gives her another bow. Have a good day.
She was immediately against the idea of shaking that hand anyway. When you extended it, her hand never left her body.
Yeah, I mean that would be completely reasonable, but it's, I guess, Ulhime kind of trying to give the gesture of it, but yeah, he'll pull his hand away, and he'll make his way out.
Okay.
Can I do a quick stop to get those 3 onyx gems?
Yeah. Where do you wish to go in order to acquire these?
Knowing that it's a magical component for what I want to do with it, I would head.
Is it just a reagent, or it's just like a gem?
It's a it's a reagent. I need 3 of them.
Sure, you would be able to pick that up at Sasha's. Right now, she is probably the only neutral to ally party of yours in the town, at least that I can think of outside of Kiana.
I have 3 platinum, so it'd just be 1, right?
Whatever the cost is, I mean...
25 per gem.
Well, then...
With,
it's...
like, change back.
It's 25 gold per gem?
Yes.
Then that's 75. It's going to be 7.5 platinum.
Oh, shit. You're right.
Give me just a second. I will be right back. You can talk amongst yourselves.
So it'd be 2... No. I need... Fuck. Hold on. I need to see how...
Xander, you can go ahead and check into the Discord.
This is for...
Yeah, that's... If we're pooling the funds together, that's what... that's what Jakob is kicking in, so to speak.
Oh, no. I don't want you to kick in money. This is just, like, what we have. So, like,
right.
Whatever... Yeah. But, I don't think you're gonna have to do that.
Oh, okay. So we're not pooling funds.
No. So the money that I got right now, that's the money I was referring to. I wasn't talking about you throwing in your funds additional to this.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. I'll go ahead and put those back on the sheet. Whoops. Yeah, it's kind of why I was trying to clarify that earlier before I went ahead and took it off.
My bad.
Because that's a lot of money.
All right. So, bet you weren't expecting that.
No, but I mean, I kind of had a feeling that it would happen. Like I said, like I had a feeling that when he says he has like a lot of pull in the city, when he was talking about the friends that he had, I kind of had a feeling it was going to extend to this. So I will go and I will ask about just a single onyx gem.
Sure. As far as reagents go, they've got just about everything magically in stock that you might need in order to cast a spell. Some of the rarer substances obviously will come at a bit of a more premier price because, well, now since she's likely the only immediate
magical vendor,
strong and capable spellcasting vendor in the area, she has a bit of a monopoly here.
Yeah.
So yeah, just go ahead and you can purchase it. I'm not gonna have you deal with any of the additional the roleplay for it. It's just assume that it's yours.
So once I get that gem, I'm assuming there are dead horses near stables, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Actually,
so
the stable was burned down.
Okay, but they're still the horses are still dead.
You know, they're so dead that they're nearly just bones. They died from dragon's fire.
Awesome. So that being said, Ulhime will walk to one of the stables, the burnt down stables, remembering where he first procured the horses for rent. When he goes there, you will see him take the onyx gem, and he's holding it in his platinum hand with the symbol of helm on it, and he shifts it over to the hand that has the worm that walks. And as he closes his fist and he clenches it over the horse's mouth, it starts to turn into a blackish kind of gold smoke.
Okay.
And it seeps into the horse, and he animates dead for the horse.
Okay, alright, so...
It's a little skeleton horse.
Are you sure we're not playing WoW right now? I feel like we're playing WoW
I'm not making this for me. This is for Jakob, okay?
So you want me to ride up to the various...
A horse that doesn't
cities?
tire? Yes, you're going to ride a skeleton horse that doesn't tire to the Wardens, because it's going to go full speed for you, so shut up and be happy with it.
You do know that I was planning
Let me have this!
You know I was doing this all the night of the attack using the teleportation spell, right?
Or, hey, you can have a horse that just never tires, and you can...
I mean, hey, if you want to go ahead and give me an undead horse, that's going to be pretty fun to explain as I ride through town. You know, I'm one of the good guys, I swear! Ignore the corpses.
It's got 4 HP, so there you go.
All right.
It's a one-hit dice skeletal horse.
One hitter quitter skeletal horse is yours.
Yeah. As I get the horse and I take it back over to the bathhouse, I'll call Jacob out. Jacob.
Yeah, I'm assuming that Jacob's been working around the city, but yeah, he'll poke his head out of the not doorway.
And kind of puts his hand up and he presents the this war horse. You can see like half of the eye, like one side of it has the golden eye like helms, but the other eye is completely blackened. And you can see like the little holes that are in the side of the face, with little worms dropping out every few minutes. I've got you a mount.
Is it sick?
No,
It looks awful sick to me.
It's a skeletal horse that, well, given my situation, I realized I can tap into 2 sides of magic, but...
Yeah, Ulhime, I get that. It looks awful sick. It's gonna get better though, right?
No, it's dead. As you can see the char marks on the bone, and he kind of just goes here, circling the whole horse. Look, I know what it looks like. Just it doesn't tire. You don't have to use spells.
I get that, Ulhime.
I know you're trying to look like the good guy, but here's a medieval death horse.
Hold on.
Ride this.
He looks to the horse and he goes, sit. And then you see it go.
Oh yeah, but it's
It doesn't actually purr because it's made entirely of bones and has no tongue
but like
anymore.
it's a clacking sound that I was making. That just kind of like sits and goes.
It just like rattles itself, just like.
Spooky, scary, equine things.
like the blinds are actually
Look.
closed right
Oh,
now.
hi, brother. You understand I'm trying not to look like the bad guy anymore, right?
I get that, but given what has transpired, this at least serves some practicality. I can do the same thing for a few other horses to pull carts as well.
Cort!
I'll talk to Jenya. I'll talk to Kiana about it.
You'll be exiting the establishment at this point with all of your belongings so that you can begin trolls that you've offered to Lady Green. It is here that you will see a conversation between 2 men that you recognize, of which stands them between a skeletal steed.
I'm gonna take a look at the steed, take a look at Jacob, take a look at Ulhime. Are you sure we're not the bad guys?
Yes,
Good guys
positive.
don't have dead horses, do they?
Look, necromancy.
It's only a little
is-
necromancy. I mean,
It's a school of magic, and I'm not doing this to
Get a blanket and
kill people. The horse was already dead. It was an idea.
maybe
I
I can
understand.
wrap him in blankets and say that he's just really, really thin.
You can do whatever you want with him, Jacob. He's yours for now until you bring him back, in which case I will take control of him again.
How much do you figure it would cost to get a horse costume made?
Quite a bit, since there's no leather workers in town.
Let's just tightly
So
wrap
you
it in
want
burlap.
If you want to kill another horse and put its skin on here, then that would be your plan.
Do you
in
have
which
the
case,
mask
yes, we
on
would be
you?
the bad guys.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, Jacob's always wearing the mask, unless specifically saying otherwise. He is always wearing the mask because it would be bad enough for him to be riding, looking like a mini Glabrizu on top of an undead horse.
What if you put the mask on the horse so he doesn't look so evil?
No, because then I look evil.
Because then it will look like a Glabrizu riding like a Trent. That would be horrifying. Could you imagine like a Hamlet just starting up, "Mother, what's for dinner?" and looking outside, and there's a fucking devil riding a tree walking through town. That would... Holy Jesus Christ, that kid would never sleep again. Or he would grow up to be an inquisitor and hunt your ass down.
Look,
Never mind, no worries. I'm one of the good guys.
Far worse with the
5-year-old kid
giant
suddenly grows a
dragon
beard. He's all,
casually
I've seen some
flying
things.
Yeah, no shit. It's, you see Jake, he was like, it's okay, I'm a good guy. And his other little hands over, I'm good, I promise.
The other hand on the other side's holding a small dagger.
Yeah.
Hit him with the double fawns. You're all, hey.
Hey, don't worry, nothing's wrong. You didn't see me. If you
But
did,
yeah,
I'll come back for you.
He'll present the horse to Jacob. He will go to Kiana, explain what he did, and then he will go about his daily business from there. So you can segment that to someone else.
All right, so let's just assume that the roleplay ends with something akin to this. You say that you have the horse, you put up an argument for why you should have this horse, you realize that it is a dead horse, and while it never tires, now suddenly the general public screams at the sight of you. Oh, Mom, look, there's a sky man on a dead horse. This is fine.
All the same, Jacob wouldn't just immediately, like, get rid of it. But he is going to try and put it somewhere out of sight
Listen
until
the way
he
of
can,
the public.
until he can find some kind of tack and harness. And
Dude, are you guys,
lots
are you actually considering this as a fucking option? The city was just attacked by undead goblin vampires. A dragon just rained fire across the fucking town. You're like, Hi-ho, Silver! Clack, 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 clack. Like, this is not going to go well.
Look, I'll take him to the bottom of the bathhouse. He can exit through the, whatchamacallit.
I just don't want to hurt his feelings. He put a lot of thought and effort into this. And, oh my god,
Will.
I don't get that many gifts from guys anymore.
It's a good joke, but it doesn't actually work because there's nothing decaying on the horse.
Look at my horse. My horse is decaying.
Give it a lick. It tastes just like a dead burned body. That's what it tastes like.
It tastes just like rotting worms.
Tastes like barbecue, actually.
It's all charred bone, so it's.
Wait a minute.
It's not really any better.
Is this that moment where you lick the dead horse? You're like, strangely, it reminds me of Burger King.
Ooh, no, better yet. Can I just do prestidigitation and make it look like a flaming horse?
Try that again?
He said prestidigitation.
Don't you have an illusion, minor image, mirror, minor image or something? Can you just change the way it looks?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That would keep up all the time. Jesus.
Yeah. But
keep it up all the time, make it so it's less terrifying.
I will let Kiana know, and the guard, that I did use necromancy to make a horse, an undead horse.
Just a heads up, there's a skeleton horse running around.
Yeah.
That guy that you guys tried for killing 113 people, including an entire guild that was out to kill him. He's riding a dead horse through town. He'll be gone though. It's all right.
Don't worry, it never runs out of energy. It's
just
fine.
Whatever you do, don't.
It helps him chase people down.
Okay, look, you got the horse. I'm informing Kiana. You guys can segment into whatever we're gonna do after that. We'll deal with it later. Just go. Next segment. Go on. Transition.
I
want an undead mount too.
You know what? I'm just gonna ride down to the Old Town Road and just leave it at that.
There is a pun that is waiting to happen. In fact, it's probably gonna come from Kiana. She's like, I would jail him, but it would literally be beating a dead horse at this point. And we could likely do that, but I don't know what good it would serve. So, sure, you'll be led through everything that is this twisty labyrinth with your bone steed.
Yes.
Which may or may not be the future name of a penis. I'm not sure yet.
How did you know I was about to name him Boner?
My future.
Because you're 7 years old.
I got it, I did work.
Yeah.
Ready?
Bone steed ready. Like, is this fucking happening?
Oh, no.
You got it out just literally a second before me. I was taking a drink of water. I fucking hate it.
I also was taking a drink of water. I just didn't care.
Yeah, it's like water's flowing into it. Bone steed.
Oh my god! Could I awaken this undead skeleton?
How?
There are spells like Awakening and stuff. Usually
Yeah, that's
it's
for
like
plants.
but...
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
we
so-
haven't twisted the rules enough already.
Whatever. Okay, so what happens? Can we?
Yeah. We can keep moving.
Notice how quick he is to get away from his story when he makes a mistake. Like raising a dead
Well,
horse.
I mean, I'm that way too.
It's
Okay,
it's a good idea.
It just means
When I
that
fuck
I
up-
leave my horse outside of the city and I walk the rest of the
What? Yeah, when I fuck up, I quickly go, look over there, and then I try to cover it up real quick.
Look, a purple distraction in this guy.
Shit, I'll summon more undead horses. It'll make it look.
Why do you think I came up with Embarda? You guys looked real hard on that one. I had a lot of time to cover up my mistakes. Yes.
That's why we have
yes.
to go deeper.
I'm curious though. What are you actually covering the horse up with? Anything?
Yeah, it would probably be well, one, if he's gonna use a saddle to ride it directly, then a saddle. With
No, I'm
cover.
gonna go ahead and bear nut it on that raw spine.
From there,
It's
it would
got a
probably be.
Has a fucking
It'd be
rib
like-
cage, guys.
It would be heavy sheaths and stuff because it doesn't actually need to use its eyes to kind of navigate. So it would just be completely covered. But like I said, I would honestly inform Kiana, letting her know, like, yes, I did make an undead horse for Jacob to travel to and from the Citadel with if he wants to destroy it when he gets there or whatever. That's on him. But that's what I'm offering right now
Oh, you
for him.
like last joke. You're really gonna need some sort of a cup because every time those vertebrae clap back, it's just gonna be snapping at your nads, man.
No, man.
This is why
It forms a natural like harness. It's like a bone jockstrap almost.
Oh no! Oh man!
yeah, I can imagine he like first swings up on it and it's like, oh, it's kind of pinchy.
Dude, the first dead horsey 500 around Cauldron.
Dead horsey 500.
Mm-mm.
What the fuck?
Not like this.
But yeah,
What do you put
What
on
happened?
it? What like I'm curious. What do you guys put? You said that you
I would say
you
like
got a
heavy
saddle.
blankets and stuff like that,
Okay.
or
What are you
like
putting on the horse's head?
heavy. That would,
Personally
that's what I was saying. It would
Personally
probably be.
speaking, it's my fucking horse. I get to dress it up. Thank you.
Yeah, go for
All
it.
right, go ahead.
Yeah, I am going to find like black sail tarp and so forth.
Okay.
You know, something that I can go ahead and wax for the weatherproofing. And it is going to be basically draped around this horse and roped off. So it is going to look like the silhouette of a horse, but it's going to have bone legs coming off. And when it's like in, ride, this is all going to be just dusting up. So it is not only going to be my mount, it's going to be my tent when I'm out and about.
Necromancy, innovation. There you go.
Yeah.
Reduce, reuse,
It's
recycle.
pulling double duty. It's recycling at its best.
I'm pretty sure Genuine would sing a song about this. Bone Pony. I feel like it's.
Yep.
I mean, if I had the money and the time, I would definitely be going for some kind of, mounted horse armor to hang
Sure,
on it
sure,
as
sure,
well.
sure.
But no, we're just gonna Nazgul that shit.
All right. Okay. I'm for it. You got it. You managed to tarp it with as much as you can
Tarp?
find. Let's give you a shot here.
I'd imagine there's a couple sailors that aren't going to
skill check
that
is
didn't
this?
make it.
I'm just gonna leave it down to a percentile because you are based in a volcano. Clearly, they're not worrying about exporting by boat. Sassarin would probably be a location to find something more akin to that. They likely wouldn't have ship sails here,
Ship sails, no.
unless
but
you were looking for
small
like
sloops
maybe
and such.
like you might be able to find canvas. There is. Would that be okay?
Yeah. I mean, sail canvas is basically canvas that's been impregnated with some kind of wax or oil.
All right, I'll give you a
Mini
greater
system,
chance
so-
on this one. I'll give you we'll say a 40% chance of finding this. There is like the equivalent of an area that is primarily art and art related, specifically around the nobles. It's sort of like your gentrified hipster area. So let's
So,
go ahead and see.
40%?
Yeah, 40% range that you want.
30 to 70.
Okay. Ooh, very close, very close. No luck rerolls, otherwise I would say that you got it. At least not yet. Remember, guys, you guys can impact the game by picking up 5 fresh subs for stream. 5 gift subs will put a luck reroll into stream. And that'll give these guys a luck reroll. That's huge. It's not just one of them, it's literally all of them. So, have at it.
You don't need me to roll it, right?
No.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab something real quick.
All right.
So, yeah.
What else are you going to try to use? Think of something that's a bit more commonplace.
Oh, well, let's see. Since canvas is, not available, we'll go with just...
tar and feather it.
You shut the fuck up.
Chicken horse. I see what you're doing. There we go. That's actually... that right there. Tweak coming in hot with 5 subs. There's your first luck reroll, guys. Thank you so much. Mike, I appreciate it, my guy. And they will too. I mean, technically, if you want to try it again, you can.
Yeah, because, I mean, really, all it is going to be some kind of blankets. I mean, if I'm not able to do the wax tarp, the, waxed up tarps, I'll go ahead and use tarping like you'd find for tents. After all, the half-orc army just left. There should be a fuck ton of camping tents just around. Finding one that's
you got it. You know what? You don't even have to roll for it. You'll be able to find some tent or the tent equivalent, and you'll be able to wrap them. Remember, they didn't really do much in the way of tenting because they were provided with a guard house. Their guard houses were generally left open for the longest time because they didn't have enough soldiers to put into their guard house. That's why they brought in this force to begin with. So, friendo.
Yeah, so I mean, if nothing else, once I get outside of a town, I can just tie it up to a tree, and it looks like a really bad tent.
Whoa, God, yes, a really, really terrible tent. That's fine. Okay, you'll be heading to the Wardens. You've been told how to get there, or at least you recall how to get there. Or were you trying to teleport? Would you teleport there?
I would have teleported that first night since I still had time.
Yeah.
I had intended to teleport as soon as Kiana gave me the okay.
Okay. Would you... So then where are you going now? If you would have teleported that first night?
It would have been... I know it was going to be the Citadel, Red Gorge. I think there was one other city that Kiana went ahead and mentioned.
Red Gorge and Sassarine were the cities that you should be looking into.
Yeah. Red Gorge he knows about.
Yeah.
Sassarine he'd need to go ahead and study a map, and at that point it gets kind of tweaky. But given the fact that he only had a couple teleports left, from Sassarine he would have to ride back.
Okay, I could get you the map for it, but if you're gonna ride to Sassarine, you're gonna be gone a while. Are you okay with that? All right.
Yeah. I mean, he went ahead and he's already told Ulhime that he's looking for gear, and Ulhime knows what Jakob needs. They've, been together long enough.
Okay, sounds good. Then you will have gone off to Sassarine. I will give you an opportunity at Chance Encounter in a little bit, but we will bound back to this lot in that meantime.
Riding off to Sassarine on an undead horse with some kind of Glabrizu tainted staff.
But I do need to know about what you've said at the Leven Citadel to the Wardens specifically. Since you've already said that you're teleporting there that previous night. Can accept that you were. Let's just see what you would have said. Who would you approach? What would you say? What would you request?
Well, he's already met the leader of the Citadel the once.
Yes.
Basically, he would announce the city of Cauldron has been attacked by a horde of undead goblinoid children. The main threat has been suppressed, but the city is aflame, and the dead are many.
Okay.
Yeah. Cauldron calls for aid.
Cauldron calls for aid. He asks, what is it that I can offer? We still have many children here. And though we may teach many adults as well, our forces are still very limited. We patrol the southeastern borders as much as we can. We prevent many threats here, but if we all flee at this point, we open ourselves up to attack. We've had this once before, and it's come at a great loss. So what can we help you with now? Let's see your diplomatic side come out on this, and we'll even put it to some rolls. If you want to try to sway him, let's see what you got. Bring out some dice roll chops.
Oh, yeah, me. Dice roll chops. Thank you.
You've got a luck reroll, and if people are feeling sorry for you, they might put a second or third in.
Yeah, everybody feels sorry for me. Well, mostly they feel sorry for you having to deal with me.
Real question. Do you show him
Show him
who you are?
Do I take the mask off?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
Okay, then...
Unless he specifically says, I don't remember you, or he's unwilling to. Yeah, I'm not going to take the mask off if at all possible.
All right.
Not in front of the wardens.
Do you... Well, I mean, you understand his situation is a little different than pretty much all others.
He might be a little more understanding, but...
Okay, so what proof do you have that you are calling in for requisitioned aid for Cauldron, then?
At which point, he'll go ahead and provide the literature that was provided by Kiana Green.
All right.
We don't ask for any more than you're willing to, that you're willing to give. The guard has been driven down to only 5 men. Any bodies that you could go ahead and provide, simply for the, simply to walk the walls. Keen eyes are more important than strong backs or sword arms.
Give me diplomacy. Fingers crossed, chat. He needs it.
Oh, God.
Do you reroll?
Yeah, I mean, it's only a flat 20, so...
You're always so great at rolling, Sniper. Never ceases to amaze.
That moment when you suddenly become...
Jesus Christ!
Oh!
At which point, Jacob says, "Oh, and bitches."
Look, we need money, bodies, some weapons, and bitches. Send them now. Stat, Cauldron needs you.
Bitches and perk drain.
Good lord.
It's the worst propaganda campaign
I
ever.
mean, given the time lapse, like, he couldn't take like a 10 or 20 on something like this, where he would like have
This
a
isn't.
amount of time.
This isn't. It's not that. It's unfortunately, it's not one of those kinds of things where he's taking his time trying to convince him because he doesn't have that much time. How long does he take in order to offer himself the bonus 20 on this? It's going to take him bringing undeniable proof that there has been some sort of attack outside of a letter, because you can copy a seal, you can forge some words. It's not in anybody's writing that he recognizes. He hasn't said anything about the existence of his surpassed allies, if they're still alive whatsoever. This is where it kind of comes down to one, the words that he chooses, and two, the roll, because he could speak really poorly and roll an at 20 and still get some.